Welcome back to Star Wars Nerds Unite, a discussion and review podcast focused on Star Wars. I'm your host, Tim Van Altriv. Joining me, as always, Josh the Tosh, internet famous Mason.
Hello.
And Jennifer.
Hi.
Hello. Welcome to the show. Today we're going to be talking about Obi-Wan, the Disney Plus series, episode 3 to be particular.
Isn't it called Obi-Wan Kenobi?
It is called Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Whatever.
Well, if
everybody
knew
Google
it. Disney Plus Obi-Wan the series,
then I'll be wrong. Yeah, well, that's a lot of ifs. Okay, so usually what we do is we do a synopsis. Jennifer wrote another book. She wrote the novella version of this episode, probably longer than the actual script. And she is going to summarize for us what happens in this episode, of which quite a lot happens in this episode. So, you want to take it away?
Yeah. First off, in the recap, I realized how much... Did you just take your retainer out? That was an awful sound.
Oh my gosh.
Could hear it.
Good. Thank you.
Okay.
I'm glad that we're here putting a...
Try to do that before the recording starts.
I would have. I was going to. And then I forgot. And then I had to take it off.
Okay.
I'm glad that you pointed it out.
Well, I couldn't not hear it. Okay. In the recap, I realized how much like Breaking Bad that scene was in episode 2, because I didn't really, it just like flashed by me. But then you guys said Josh said it was like Breaking Bad, and it really was. There's like test tubes and Bunsen burners and stuff exploding. So at the beginning of the episode 3, Obi-Wan is on the transport. It like picks up right after, when they leave Dayu or whatever. He's on the transport. He's meditating. He's trying to reach Qui-Gon. He just starts hearing all these conversations in his head, like past dialogue, and he hears Chewie. He hears Reva telling him that Anakin is alive, and then he starts hearing stuff from way past, like Yoda and Qui-Gon and Anakin talking to him, things they've already said before. But while he's meditating, he keeps trying to reach out to Qui-Gon for help. And then you see Anakin getting his Vader suit back on. He was in the tank. And you see like his whole body. I don't think they've ever shown his body like in that much detail before, but they show everything. Like he has no arms. And they show his back where like tubes hook up to his back.
He has one whole arm, doesn't he?
No, he has like no hands. There's no arm. He has partial arms.
They're cut off at
he has like a
elbow.
part. Yeah, he has like a part of both arms, but no hands.
Okay.
Anyway, it shows him getting like his suit getting put back on him. And by the time this scene is done, Obi-Wan like knows Vader's coming for him. He can feel it. So then it goes to Mustafar.
Ah, good work. That's a reference to the prior episode where
you can see the lava.
Where Jennifer.
That's
had no
how
idea,
I knew.
Had
That's
never
how I
even
knew
heard
it was.
Mustafar.
That's how I
had
knew
no
it was
idea
Mustafar. I just didn't remember the stupid name. And then you see Vader.
It didn't seem like that was all you didn't remember.
You see Vader, and it's James Earl Jones's voice, and I was not expecting that.
How did you know it was his voice?
I don't think it's his voice.
It is his voice. I had to look it up.
Absolutely. How could it not be his voice? You can hear it. It's his voice.
Because it's such a common noise. You could have my voice, and I could put it in any kind of app and modulate Darth Vader's voice. I'm sure that Hollywood has much bigger, fancier tech than I do.
It sounded like James Earl Jones, and I just wasn't expecting that. I don't know why I wasn't, but I wasn't expecting it to sound like him already. But it was him.
I was expecting them to do Hayden Christensen's voice with a modulation on it. I was very surprised.
I don't know. I don't even know what I was expecting, but it was totally just James Earl Jones.
Jimmy Jones.
So then Reva is there talking to Vader, She's like blaming the Grand Inquisitor's death on Obi-Wan. And he knows she wants to be promoted. He's like, I've been watching you. He knows that she wants to be the Inquisitor, which if he knows everything, how does he not know that she's the one? Oh, sorry, I got a text. How does he not know? It's not going to work because people text me and now I have my laptop open, so it's going to beep.
You could just turn the volume off on your laptop. There's a button right at the top underneath it.
Oh my God. Okay. So how does he not know that she's the one that killed the Grand Inquisitor? He's like, he can see her when he's not there and see what she's doing, but maybe he already knows, but
he said he didn't care.
Right. He doesn't care, but he doesn't deny that, like, she blames Obi-Wan for what happened, and he's like, I don't care about the Grand Inquisitor.
The Grand Inquisitor means nothing, is what he said.
Yeah. So anyway, he knows she wants to be the next Grand Inquisitor. And he tells her that she'll get what she wants as long as she doesn't fail him. Then it just shoots back to Leia. Oh my God. It shoots back to Leia. I don't know why when I read her name, it comes out that way. It comes back to Leia. She starts asking Obi-Wan questions about the Force and how it works. And he tells her it's like, he tries to let her understand it, like it's a safe feeling you get when you turn on the lights. And he fixed her little Lola robot that Flea broke. He fixes that for her. So their transport lands, they sneak out. There's like droids and stormtroopers there, but they get away. They're on a planet called Mapuza or something. It's a mining planet. I noticed what you meant about Leia, like the way she walks. She just like she's like bow-legged.
Yeah.
I think she just must be bow-legged or a little bit or something.
Okay.
Because I could see her walking. There's like a flash where Obi-Wan thinks he sees someone. He's super paranoid and he like doesn't trust anybody, but it's like somebody. It's like it's not real, like he's hallucinating or something, but it's somebody in like long robes. It looks like a Jedi, but I don't know who that was supposed to be.
If only you had seen the prequel trilogy.
Who was it?
It was Anakin.
It didn't look... I have seen it. It didn't look like his face.
It was 100% Anakin.
Oh, okay. Okay, so it keeps flipping to other people. So then Reva arrives to meet with the other Inquisitors in this like meeting room, and she knows where Obi-Wan is. She already knows that he's on that planet, and she tells them they should send out all of the probes now. There's only the fifth brother and that other sister there now.
At this point, she doesn't know where he is.
She says he's on that planet.
She knows that he's on a mining planet.
Oh, she says the name of the planet. Yes, she does.
No, at this point, they don't know. She says, all the droids to all the mining planets.
No.
Right.
No, she says the name of the planet.
I promise you.
No.
Yes, that's why they send the probes.
If they already knew he was there, they would just go there.
They sent the probes to all the different planets.
I think she said the name, but whatever. So,
she may have said the name, but only in mentioning that it is a mining planet.
I think they just didn't want to believe her. Like, they were just ignoring her. Okay. So, she gets in a fight already with the fifth brother. He, like, starts using the Force on her. Tells her she's not the one in charge, and he's the next in line. She tells him that she already spoke to Vader, and that they, like, are very surprised that she talked to Vader herself. The fifth brother tells her that she's going to get what she deserves, or he's going to get what he deserves, and so is she. Whatever that means. And then, so Obi-Wan was given, like, a certain location to go to once they got on that planet, and somebody was supposed to pick them up, and they go there, and nobody's there, and he's, like, already super paranoid. He's like, everybody's lying. He thinks they were lied to. But Leia tries to be more optimistic. there's this cruiser, whatever you call it, coming down the road.
It was a pickup truck. It was a Star Wars pickup truck.
They're like in this mountainous area that's like...
I wouldn't call it mountainous. It's more just like hilly.
Well, okay, they're
California
in
Hill.
this non-town, I don't know, rural area, and there's nobody around, and this cruiser comes along, or pickup truck comes along, and she like flags it down, and Obi-Wan is like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "We need help." And so she tells the driver's name, that her and her father are farmers and they need a ride to the spaceport. So this guy who's driving, he looks like a mole, but like he has these little appendages like at the end of his snout, and like each one moves independently of the others in a really weird way. His name is
Fleck.
Fleck?
I think it's Fleck.
Okay.
It's Fleck.
He has an Imperial symbol on the back of his truck, but he's very friendly. He picks them up, and they get in the back, and he starts going. And then he picks up some stormtroopers along the way, so they're all sitting in the back, and the stormtroopers tell them that they're looking for a Jedi. They start asking if they've seen the Jedi, and they start like questioning them about why they're there and all this. Obi-Wan tries to blow him off and just says it's a long story, but they insist, like that they give them more info. So Leia says that they're there to visit the place where her father met her mother. They're pretending, they just make this up on the fly, that her mother has recently died and they're having a hard time with it. And Obi-Wan accidentally calls Leia in front of everyone when they were pretending their names were Luma, and I don't remember what his name was, but he calls her Leia. So then they're like, "What are you talking about? You said her name was Luma." And he says, "Oh, her mother's name was Leia." And he says, like, every time I look at her, I just see her mother now. And he could, I don't know, they'd buy the story, and then all of a sudden, this, like 5 seconds after they got on the truck, they're already done, so they jump off the truck. And then there's this scene with Leia and Obi-Wan where she like feels like there was truth in what Obi-Wan was saying, and she can tell that he really did know her mother. So she asks him if he is her real father, and then they have this conversation about how he understands what it's like to feel like you don't know, wonder where you came from or whatever. He talks about being taken from his real family when he was really young and having glimpses of his former life, and he thinks he has a baby brother, and so connecting. He like keeps connecting more and more with Leia. Like there's all these personal moments between them in between other scenes.
I thought that the acting here by Ewan McGregor was awesome. It was like the first time that he got to actually like bust out his acting chops, I thought. The rest of the time he just kind of...
I think he has before, but yeah, this episode a lot more.
Well, yeah, this scene in particular, I thought he did. Grows the character more than it's ever, or than it has in a long time.
So the driver stops at this checkpoint, and he gets out and starts talking to the stormtroopers, and he's like, "I want you to check out this guy I picked up." So the stormtroopers have them get out of the truck, and I think they say they're going to initiate Order 23, and it's like bringing a probe over, like a droid probe, and he starts trying to do like facial recognition to see if he's Obi-Wan. So it starts scanning his face, and then it like, I don't know why he just stands there and lets it scan his face until the point that it definitely recognizes him, but then he shoots the probe, and then he starts getting in a fight with the stormtroopers and he shoots them. There's like 3 of them, but the last one like gets a hold of Leia and has a gun to her, but he still shoots him down, and Leia's fine, and they start to run away. And then another truck pulls up, and it's I would think it was like a woman dressed in like a general uniform comes out with more stormtroopers, and they make Obi-Wan and Leia like get down on the ground, and so you think it's over. But then she shoots all the stormtroopers, and then she was the one he was supposed to meet, but they just ran off too quickly because Obi-Wan thought nobody was coming for them.
I was surprised at how good Obi-Wan is with a gun, with a blaster. He's quite a marksman. And when he shoots the stormtrooper off of Leia, that's an especially good shot. Didn't you think?
Why wouldn't he be good?
In the prequel trilogies, there's a whole thing about how he doesn't like blasters.
Okay.
They're
He hasn't been able to
uncivilized.
use a lightsaber in 10 years, so maybe he's gotten blaster skills instead.
I don't think he has done any kind of combat activities.
I mean, he lives in the desert. Maybe he has to have a blaster to defend himself from animals.
Yep.
Maybe.
Sandworms. I don't know. So then the general, the actress, is from Game of Thrones. You know who it is?
Oh, yeah. She was from Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm. I've never seen her in anything else.
It's just an officer uniform.
Officer, whatever. So she takes them to a safe house, and they call like the group of safe houses like a path. It just seems like a underground railroad for Jedi, and she explains like they sneak them in, and there's other Jedi that have been there, and they try to save like kids who are force sensitive that are taken. They try to save them too, and there's different Jedi that have been through this particular safe house who have written like inscriptions on the walls, and Obi-Wan recognizes somebody he knows. Like I can't remember his name, Quinlan or something like that.
Quinlan Voss. Yeah.
Okay, he had written something on the wall. They have a repurposed Imperial droid like that works in this safe house for them. He's a loader, and he can't communicate, but he like understands everything that's going on and is like there to protect them. So Obi-Wan asks, her name is, they don't say it till like way later, but her name is Tala. Obi-Wan asks her, she's an officer, why she's doing this, like why she risks everything. And she says she joined up with the Empire before she actually knew what was really going on, and she wants to do what she can to help now. So they're like about to go down. I mean, it seems like it's like some underground tunnel or something to sneak them out. They're about to leave, and then Obi-Wan like senses something outside, and it's Vader. He's outside, like right outside with all the other Inquisitors. So like there's like little like cracks in the window, like Obi-Wan can like see outside and see Vader and see what's happening, and they're in this little town area, and he's just watching him walk past the window, which I don't know how Vader can't sense where Obi-Wan is, but Vader just starts like randomly killing innocent people in the town probably to draw Obi-Wan out. He kills like a few people, and Obi-Wan sends Leia with Tala like and says he's gonna try to like draw Vader away. He's just like, Vader's just like walking up the street, just like force choking random people.
It was brutal. He like snapped some little kid's neck.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It was more than I thought they would show on a Disney Plus show.
I didn't notice it was a little kid, but I heard the snap. But then he like just pulled people out of their house. He ran out there.
He's like, Dad. And then Vader's like, a boy? Snap.
So, of course, Reva's there. She starts to like break rank again, obviously. Because because they were told like just to sweep the town and not to engage, and the fifth brother has to like try to put her back in her place. So now, I mean, it just like jumps to where somehow Obi-Wan, I don't even know how he got out of this little building he was in that was like right in the middle of town when Vader was like 10 feet away from him. But now all of a sudden he's outside in the middle of nowhere. And he's just like walking. And Vader finds him and turns on his lightsaber, and Obi-Wan just kind of runs away. And Vader tells him he can't run away from him. So then Obi-Wan turns on his lightsaber, and you can, like, he can't exactly see where Vader is for a while. And then you can see Vader walking towards him. And Obi-Wan asks Vader, like, what have you become? And Vader says, I am what you have made me. So then Obi-Wan turns off his lightsaber to try to hide because it's dark out. So then he runs away. It just keeps going back like really quickly, like jumping from Obi-Wan and Vader to Reva and Leia and like what's going on in the town. So Reva can like start to sense like where Leia and Tala have been, or she senses something. So she finds the safe house, and then it goes back to Obi-Wan. He's like, it doesn't ever show like how he's getting away from Vader when they're like 5 feet away from each other, but all of a sudden Obi-Wan is just like power walking through the wilderness in the dark, and then Vader comes up on him and they start fighting. Vader tells him that the years have made him weak. Then it jumps back to Tala and Leia. Tala leaves Leia alone and just tells her, just keep going on this path, and tells her somebody will be there to help her. Just tells her to keep going. And then Tala leaves. And it goes back to Vader and Obi-Wan fighting, and Vader tells him, you should have killed me when you had the chance. So that makes me think like he's regretting who he is, maybe. I don't know. Reva, while she's like in the safe house, she finds the Jedi writings on the wall, and it like super triggers her. Like you can tell she's like visibly disturbed by the Jedi symbol that she sees. And then it just keeps going back and forth, and then it shows all of a sudden, even though like Vader was like right up on him, now all of a sudden Obi-Wan is just like power walking again. He just keeps like power walking in the dark and getting away somehow. He's not even running. He's not like hiding behind anything. He's just walking.
It's the slowest chase scene in television history.
He's not running or hiding. He's not. There's like nothing he's like crouched behind. He's just walking.
There's piles of whatever they're mining.
But they're like looking at each other,
and
fighting,
then
then all of a sudden he's gone.
Runs back and runs behind the pile, and Darth Vader's not going to undignify himself enough to hurry to catch Obi-Wan, because that's not what Vader does.
Okay.
He slow walks while Obi-Wan power walks.
So Vader catches up to him again. He like lifts him up in the air with the Force. He starts Force choking him like really good, and then he starts a fire like on the ground in front of Obi-Wan. He like slams him down onto the ground in the fire, starts like dragging him across the fire, and he tells him like his pain is just starting. And then there's like there's these little hills around, and Tala is up, like she makes her way like up at the top of this hill, and she can see down what's going on. There's like stormtroopers there now suddenly also. They haven't been there this whole time, but now there's stormtroopers there. So these I think Vader was having the stormtroopers come towards Obi-Wan, like they were gonna, I don't know what he was gonna do, but so
he's gonna capture him so he can torture him.
But he already had the Force, like he could lift him up and pull him down, and like he could have just pulled Obi-Wan to him. So like I don't know why he was like, stormtroopers, bring him to me. Like
again, it would be undignified for him to.
It just didn't make sense.
All
of a sudden, there's stormtroopers like that are in the mix, and so Tala starts shooting down the stormtroopers, and then like, I don't know if I don't know what happened, but she shot down at the ground where the stormtrooper and got him, and then the fire erupted.
She shot a minecart that was full of it.
Oh, I didn't see that. Okay, so she shot...
The same minecart that Vader previously had tipped over.
I thought he just, made fire come
blew it out with the Force. He, forced through Obi-Wan out of the fire and pushed all the fire out in an awesome display of dark wizardry. And then he was going to send the stormtroopers over there to grab him so that he can continue to torture him.
But he already was controlling him. He,
all that
literally
stuff was still
him.
all over the ground. And she shot that again. And so the flames leapt up and got bigger than ever.
So the flames kind of separated. Obi-Wan was on the other side. So it was just a barrier. So it was like a Jungle Book escape. All of a sudden... Yeah. The fire was
I forgot that happened in Jungle Book. Good.
That's the whole thing about Jungle Book. Everything's about the fires. Okay, so because there was this small fire, Obi-Wan escaped forever, and
the loader robot came and grabbed him. Ran off with him.
See that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
You were probably furiously typing.
It takes a long time to type all this crap.
She kept making me pause through the whole episode so that she could finish typing.
So then somebody relays this news to the Inquisitors and the fifth brother. This was the most super dramatic scene in the whole episode, and he's just when he finds out that Obi-Wan is gone, he goes, "Now we'll never find him." How did you find him before? Now he's still on the planet. How would you never be able to find him now? At the very end of the episode, Reva finds Leia, and at first Leia thinks that that's who she was supposed to meet at the end of the tunnel or whatever, and then she sees who Reva must have killed when she got there. She sees him laying on the ground, so there's this realization oh god, I'm in trouble, and she realizes that Reva is a bad guy, and she starts to run off.
How did Reva get ahead of Leia in these tunnels? That's what I'd like to know. Because you would think it would only be a singular tunnel.
Right, yeah. She got ahead of Leia and killed the guy that was there to meet Leia.
And Tala also
got out of the tunnel and didn't bypass Reva, who was already in the safe house.
Right, which means there's an intricate
series of tunnels
in the underground of this place.
Yeah. So Leia's running away. That's how it ends.
She's not getting away.
She's not.
Or we're going to be, the next episode's a 45-minute montage of her running through the labyrinthian tunnels, and an adult Inquisitor can't catch up to her.
Well, if Flea can't, and it took them a while. So, you never know.
Well,
go ahead.
I was just going to talk about how I hoped that, you mentioned a montage, and I was thinking during that whole fight scene between Vader and Obi-Wan, that there was going to be a montage of Obi-Wan getting all fit before they battle again.
I was thinking that
Eye of the Tigers. Yeah.
I was thinking that if power walking can save you, I would win every time because I can power walk.
Oh my gosh,
she is madman.
She's not even power walking.
He can't catch up. He has to run.
She is the fastest walker I've ever been around.
And I'm not even trying to walk.
She's 5'2", and she walks like she has an 8-foot footstep span.
He's taller than me, and he has to jog to catch up to me when I'm walking sometimes.
Part of it is that she has no concept of other people, and she doesn't care about them in any way whatsoever. She will weave and dodge and cut off anybody to walk through a crowd.
It's not cutting somebody off unless you stop.
Yeah, and I don't stop.
If you're moving faster than them,
I get around.
That's not cutting them off.
Whatever. She does cut people off, for one. She will cut in front of people. There's no Midwestern, "Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry." It's they're immaterial. They are peasants. They're
You're,
Well, I mean,
almost all of this has happened at Disney World. And it's like
it happens
totally
other places
different.
too.
Are you there to walk and talk to each other? Or are you there? Are you walking?
I got somewhere to
ambulating
be.
to get somewhere?
I got somewhere to go, and I don't have time. I'm not there to just like
I don't want to
leisurely stroll.
run to get everywhere.
I don't run. I just walk with a purpose.
She's got a super mission, and we're on vacation. You just chill out.
Yeah, that's how I vacation. Just get where I'm going.
Yeah.
Don't waste my time.
Yeah.
I was gonna say there's some little, not Easter eggs, but details. That underwater base, that's from the video game Jedi Fallen Order.
Is that where she met the Inquisitors? Was that underwater?
Reva's, yes, that underwater. They showed a planet that was an ocean planet. You just saw like a little spire sticking out of it, and she landed there, and then she took an elevator down.
Oh, I couldn't tell.
And then there was a whole bunch of shots of people walking around, and there was big, glass,
it was like a huge base.
transparent steel, and you could see the water.
Okay.
It's an underwater. It's the Inquisitorius Fortress Inquisitorius. It's
So
the
is
Inquisitor's
there-
home base.
Is there only like 3 Inquisitors now? Was there only 4 Inquisitors before?
We've only seen
Because now, like
the 4.
at the base, it's
There
just
were more.
it's the 5th brother and Reva, and then that other sister. She didn't literally didn't speak this entire time. The other sister.
She spoke twice in this episode.
She might have said like 2 words though. She barely said anything. She didn't say anything
So you
important.
didn't have a subtitle to see her name?
No, I have to watch with subtitles.
So we don't know if there's more. We only know what they've shown us. There are different Inquisitors in Rebels, but I mean the whole.
Yeah.
They kind of glossed over murdering the Grand Inquisitor, so either he's coming back miraculously, or they're just sort of acting like Rebels didn't exist, sort of. But what's weird... So this is another little detail. So in that room with the wood panels, it's a planet with no trees, but there's wood panels inside the hidden compartment, which is weird.
Oh, like they can't be imported? What is that?
But I mean, everything else. Why would you import wood? It's not like in a futuristic galactic, like you import transparent steel. Why would you import wood?
It's true. It actually, in some ways, resembled the former podcast studio.
It did. It had slat wood.
It was slatted.
I did
wood.
not notice this at all. I'm gonna have to watch that.
Okay, so anyways,
That's what they
It's
carved.
when they're
They
in
all
the
carved
Inquisitor's
into.
base.
no, this is where Obi-Wan was hiding.
Oh
safe
yeah,
house.
the safe house. Yeah, there
Yeah.
was wood there.
Yeah, but there's no trees on the entire
No, well,
planet.
he said there used to be. He said the planet used to be totally different. So
maybe.
maybe before he said the Empire came and just destroyed everything.
That
so
may
maybe
be the case.
maybe there was plenty of trees there before they ripped it apart.
But one of the names, so there's a bunch of phrases and names and things carved into the wood. One of the names was Doom, D-U-M-E. Do you remember who that is?
I do.
I'm asking
It's
her.
from Rebels. I know
But
that.
who is Doom?
That's the wasn't that the Force sensitive big creature guy that wasn't good or bad?
No, that's the Bendar.
Okay, yeah. Okay, who's Doom?
So his full name is Caleb Doom. Does that remind you of any?
We did four comic book episodes.
Are you talking about
and a
Kanan?
book.
That's Kanan.
Oh, I just know him as Kanan.
Well, it's
Don't
'cause
try
when
to
he
trick
was-
me up with his first name.
Well, I mean,
Oh
it's
my
not his
gosh.
first name. It's his last name.
But he doesn't go by that anymore. That was his name
when he
before
was-
Rebels. That was like his
Right.
birth name or
When
whatever.
he was a Jedi.
Okay.
So the presumably he went through that safe house.
That's a pretty good Easter egg.
Yeah, that is cool. He's
That's
So what's
That's a
weird is
deep
like
cut.
in one episode they're basically saying Rebels doesn't exist, and then in the next episode there's a Rebels reference.
I like Kanan a lot.
It's a comic book reference.
Well, it's still a Rebels
it's a book.
reference,
It's a book reference first.
right?
Yeah.
Fleck, did you figure out? Did you recognize his voice?
No.
It's the guy. I can't remember his name. He's on. What's that stupid comedy show that was a parody of ER? Scrubs.
Scrubs.
Oh,
The lead character on Scrubs. What's his name?
I don't know. I know who you're talking about. That's him?
Yeah, he's Flack.
I want to say Josh, but it's not Josh.
Everyone knows who I'm talking
The T-Mobile home internet guy.
What?
What? No.
I don't do anything off commercials. I don't watch commercials.
He's not in commercials?
Yes, he is. Him and the buddy, the other guy.
Donald Faison?
Yeah.
Faison's
the two of them are in T-Mobile home internet connection
Really?
or commercials now together. Yeah,
I've never seen
as
those.
next door neighbors.
Huh.
Let me look up his name.
We never finished watching. I don't know how many episodes.
Zach Braff.
Zach Braff.
Yeah.
Zach Braff is in T-Mobile commercials?
Yeah.
Donald Faison is a character in the Star Wars, the cartoon that we didn't really cover.
I know
That you guys didn't, or you didn't like. That had the...
Resistance.
Yeah, Resistance. He's the Rhodian pilot.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Anyway, that's another tangential thing. What was the other...
You got another Easter egg?
Yeah, I think there was one more.
What else? Was there something else on the wall?
Yes, there was other people, but they weren't of significance to me. I didn't recognize their names, at least.
Did you recognize that officer was from Game of Thrones?
Yes. She is, it's not Ilaria. Yeah, it's Ilaria Sand is who she plays in Game of Thrones.
Yes.
No, I can't think of the other. I thought there was one more. So, you guys kind of gave your opinion somewhat, but like one of the episodes started off in like a way that was so frustrating. They're on this ship, right? Mm-hmm. And Leia says, "Where are we going?" Like, why? And Obi-Wan's just like, I don't know.
It's an automated ship. They talk about it in the second episode.
I know that it's not a mated ship.
They have these coordinates.
I know.
And he knows. But
he acts like he's like a Jedi master. He couldn't figure out how to override the ship.
I guess not.
And he didn't even put any thought into it. He's just like, I don't know. Go wherever we go.
He was repairing the droid. He was trying to do right by his kid. Okay?
Well, but then when they landed, all of a sudden they had these exact coordinates and like a map of where they were supposed to meet somebody.
Well, it's because
to pick them up.
He gave him the...
Yeah,
Hala.
Yeah, Haja.
Haja gave him the coordinates.
So if he gave him the coordinates, he would have had to have known where they were going.
But he didn't say what planet they were going to.
He just said, you're going to land on some planet. I don't know what it's called, but once you get there, I know exactly how to get to this spot.
Kind of wacky and dumb.
Yeah.
And it's a spot in the middle of nowhere with no landmarks whatsoever.
Right. Yeah, how would they have gotten there? Because when they land, there's no landmarks. How would they have known where to go?
He must have a compass.
An internal compass?
No, like a Jedi compass.
He had a little thing, a little data thing that told him where to go.
I forgot to say.
He looked at it.
When there was a really, really like glitchy part when they were in the back of the truck and the stormtroopers started asking them like who they were, why they were there, and all this stuff. And when Obi-Wan accidentally called Leia Luma, like the actress started like talking, like it was like super awkward. She was like mouthing words, but like things weren't coming out, and it was like she was glitching. Like she was like kind of got mixed up or something, but they didn't like edit it out. It was really like just like an awkward scene.
I wonder if it was supposed to be intentional, like she was trying to mouth to him that he screwed up.
Well, it was like she was trying to talk, but like I don't know.
Or maybe that was just the best cut, and they took her audio out.
Maybe.
It was really awkward. It was weird.
I didn't notice that at all.
I did.
I liked that scene. I liked that pause where Obi-Wan was like, okay, what am I going to do here? Oh, yes, dead wife. That's usually my first thought. The other thing, I'm trying to lie. It's like, my wife is dead.
Since you brought up the pickup truck, like another thing that just doesn't make any sense. He picks up these 4 stormtroopers, but he doesn't tell them there's anything suspicious about the people in the back, right? He's just like, yeah, get in, whatever.
Well, he couldn't talk to them privately when they're like right in front of
Who cares?
Yeah, but then he drives a little bit further down the road.
And then he's ready to sell him out.
He drove him like 100 yards.
And then he's like, hey, I want you to check these people out. They're suspicious.
Like, why didn't he just tell the first 4 stormtroopers that they're suspicious?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It just... I don't...
Inconsistent.
It's not inconsistent. It's just like... They had scenarios that they were trying to create, and they created them in the laziest ways possible. Like somebody wrote the scene where he has to explain, like the Leia Luma mix-up, right? Somebody wrote that scene, and they're like, we got to get to this point in the story. How do we get here?
Yeah, because the whole point of that was that he connected more with Leia, and that she realized that he really knew her mother, and then they like have this meaningful conversation.
Like they could have just picked up some farmer kids, right, and had the same interaction, but they wanted there to be tension, so they had to have stormtroopers there.
I felt
that just made it.
I felt some tension,
but like you don't need tension there,
right?
Well, why not?
Because he could have a slip of tongue, and he still has to tell the story to the farmers, and you still get to that point.
The tension.
There's enough tension when he's
though.
being force choked by Vader. You don't need a random stormtrooper.
Well, yeah, you did. He's
off.
on the run, and you're also showing.
But then, like
Obi-Wan's
2 seconds later,
right?
Like 2 seconds later, he's with another group of stormtroopers,
like,
and then another group, and then he's in the safe house, and then Vader's there, and the Inquisitors are there.
I got no problem with the extra tension.
I do. My problem is mostly that it just doesn't. It's not logically consistent within itself. You can tell that they wanted to get from A to B because they already knew they wanted to do B. But they came up with a weak solution to how to get from A to B.
In this episode, like in the last episode, he was consistently like nobody called him Obi-Wan in front of Leia. Like he was Ben. And you brought up how are they going to explain years later when she messages Obi-Wan like they've never met and, tries to explain who she is to him or whatever. But now in this episode, somebody completely called him Obi-Wan right in front of her, and he goes, it's just Ben now. So like they have to wipe her memory to make that not ridiculous. Because they've connected so much now. Like, and she knows his name. She knows
he's a Jedi. She knows
his name is Obi-Wan.
People have called him Obi-Wan.
They've had these heartfelt conversations. She thought he was his dad.
Right.
Are you my daddy?
She knows he knows her mom. Like, there's just so many things. Like,
Obi-Wan, you knew my father once. You don't know me.
Well, she didn't explicitly say that. She did say, you helped my father in the Clone Wars.
Why would she say that?
You saved me 7 years ago, but you probably don't remember me.
I got nothing. I don't know.
I was surprised that they already brought him and Vader together this quickly.
I was too.
I thought they were going to lead up to that, and that was going to be kind of like the end thing. I mean, obviously they're going to probably meet again at the end, but I was kind of surprised that.
I was also surprised.
The whole situation, though, it's like, it's just contrived to me.
I think that they should do more for people who don't know who the Inquisitors are to show their power and explain what, besides them just that one time
being evil,
right?
I don't think you need to. It's pretty clear what they are.
I don't know.
I just don't know why the whole story exists. That's my ultimate position.
Because
it's to flesh out the Obi-Wan,
but it just undermines everything else we already know.
Just with that one little detail.
There's more than just that detail. Like, he's a bumbling idiot the whole episode.
He's out of shape.
He's a bumbling idiot the whole episode. How do you go from being when
the stormtrooper came up,
the greatest Jedi of all time,
to a bumbling idiot?
When the stormtrooper came up, the second group of stormtroopers that sent the probe over, before he sent the probe over, why didn't he do a mind trick?
Right.
And say, like go away so I don't get found out.
They could have had a callback to A New Hope and had him do a mind trick.
I thought that was what was happening, and then it was like, send the probe.
I was a little surprised that he gave up so easy when the second transport showed up. He just took down the same number of stormtroopers.
And then he's like, all right, well, we're hosed.
That's it. And they even had the high ground.
It's just like everything is... Somebody's got a list of scenes that they wanted to make. And everything is just, how do we get to those scenes? And it just doesn't... It doesn't do anything for me.
It did something for me. I liked that episode quite a lot.
Go ahead.
What did you think of the television's slowest chase scene?
Power walking away in the dark.
I think again, that's why he's just a bumbling idiot. Like
he's just like thinking like, oh God, how did I get here?
He's in a tunnel, a labyrinthian tunnel, and he's got the jump on his, pursuer. And what does he do? Oh, you guys go ahead without me. I'm gonna stay here by myself, even though I'm a bumbling idiot.
He was gonna lure them away. He was gonna sack himself.
Yeah, it's just why? He didn't need to. He had an escape already planned.
I don't know. I don't know.
And then yes, it's just they're walking around a
But
quarry.
he wasn't just trying to be like, "Hey, Vader, over here." Like he was always trying to get away. Like it didn't show him running out there and trying to distract them. None of them care about Leia. They don't know who Leia is. They just want Obi-Wan. Like, Vader just wants Obi-Wan. So it's not like he was trying to lure him away from Leia.
He knew Vader could sense him, though.
Yeah, I mean, he knew what he was doing. He was definitely trying to be the rabbit.
It never showed how he got out of that safe house and then got out into the middle of nowhere. He
went through the labyrinthian. There's another exit.
There's one exit to the safe port. There's one exit to middle of nowhere.
Yeah, exactly.
And then there's one exit that loops around and gets you quicker to the safe port.
Where do you need an exit? It exists. Just show one shot of a tunnel, and then everything's plausible.
That's true.
It's like
that's true.
We have tunnels everywhere.
Infinite possibilities with the tunnel. Yeah, rating wise, I'm gonna go with a 9. I really, really like this episode a lot. I don't care if some of the scenes are contrived.
Your words contradict your rating so much.
What do you mean?
I mean, we're just saying all these things are so inconsistent and don't make sense, and then you're like, "Yeah, it's amazing. It's a 9."
It was still like it.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah. Okay.
There's a lot of things.
I wish they wouldn't have. What they really needed was a 5-minute scene of Obi-Wan getting his groove back, and then making it more believable that he could kill Vader later.
They're gonna do that. That was what I was talking about
kidding.
With the montage. Or are you making fun of me again?
No, I'm making fun of this famous scene with Luke, where he just has the montage where he all of a sudden becomes a warrior.
He becomes a Jedi in 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
With Yoda.
It would make more sense then.
Yeah, I don't.
I mean, why wasn't he instead of just sitting on that transport meditating? Why wasn't he doing some crunches or something?
That's a good question.
Or trying to figure out if he could just hang a right and go to Alderaan instead of the mining planet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or meditating and trying to figure out whether he still had Force powers.
He was trying to talk to Qui-Gon.
Oh yeah, he was.
Maybe he lost track of time.
Did you see those articles that were saying that Qui-Gon he would consider coming back for a movie, but he would never do a television?
I've seen headlines to that effect. Yeah.
Do you think that means he's definitely going to show up at the end as a Force ghost?
No.
I bet he does. It may not be a new version of him, but I bet he shows up.
Maybe this whole season is just about trying to lure Qui-Gon back into a season.
Yeah, that's
why they're going to have a meditating scene where they're just like, please. And they're really just talking to Liam Neeson the whole time.
So what's your rating, Jenna?
I don't know. I like it. I enjoy watching it. I don't want to not watch it, but there's a lot of silly faults with it. Like, it's just kind of goofy.
What's your rating?
I don't know. What's your rating?
6.1.
Oh, that's low.
Yeah.
That's low.
This episode could have not existed. Like,
No,
What?
it grew the relationship between Obi-Wan and Leia, and you got
that's the
to
only
meet.
scene that has
and
any
you know-
redeeming quality.
No, but you also know that there's an underground railroad for Jedis, and
But-
that there's a lot more Jedis
You
probably
already know
safe.
there is.
Right.
Like, you already know that there is. The thing that I liked that battle between Obi-Wan and Darth Vader.
It was
Vader poning him.
Except he didn't. He let him walk away.
That's
Well, there
Vader's
was a little bit
He
of
does
a
the same
fire, or
thing
there was
to
a
Luke.
flame in front of him.
No. No.
okay. Just rate it.
Don't
so I
you
can read
think-
the letter.
okay,
He's
so-
willing to murder half a town just wantonly. But then he gets the person that almost killed him.
But he said, "You should have killed me when you had the
Right.
chance." Do you think he's just trying to piss him off enough so that he gets stronger and comes back
No.
and kills him because he wants to be dead?
No.
Well, why did he say you should have killed me?
Because he's saying, I'm going to kill you now because you didn't
He could
kill
have
me.
killed him in a second.
Right.
So then,
He was messing with him. He was going to take him back and torture the crap out of
I
him.
don't know.
Instead, he let somebody 30 feet away casually, a loader droid that moves, turtle speed, casually carry him away
He's
while a
not
fire
gonna-
burns that he literally just blew out moments ago. Moments before the loader comes, he
Hadn't
blows
thought
out
about
the
that.
fire.
Yeah.
Now the fire's too big. Same size fire.
I think that he is just
Okay.
like trying to
Okay.
coax. He's
Yeah.
trying to motivate. He's seen what a wimp Obi-Wan has become, and he's trying to motivate him to get his butt back in gear.
What,
And he wants a real fight.
what are you rating this?
I don't know, 7.2.
All right, there it is. Those are our ratings: a 6.1, a 7.2, and a 9 from the sucker, I guess.
Yeah, we got
Me.
some emails.
We got an email.
We got an email and a YouTube comment.
Oh, we got a YouTube comment?
Yeah.
I emailed it to y'all earlier.
It's from General Grievous.
It is General Grievous himself.
Wow.
Okay, so here's the letter. It's from Mark. It says, "Hey, I guess I'm gonna be one of those listeners that corrects a podcast. I can't believe I'm doing this." Side note. We get corrected all the time.
Right.
And
Don't
and
worry
we have
about
no
We're
problem.
almost never right about anything.
We like being corrected, so correct away. He says, anyways, the little kid that helps Haja Estri is played by actor Jacoby Swain, a male. I think you guys said he was a girl, and only Jen thought he was a boy. Anyways, I also thought it was a boy, so I had to check. Sorry. By looking for this answer, I found that Ewan McGregor's daughter, Esther Rose McGregor, is also in this episode, and by the looks of it, she was the girl selling spice on the streets. She is female. Smiley face.
So I had actually found that out before he sent this, and I was going to bring it up. She is his daughter. It is the girl that was trying to sell him spice. And also, did you know that the actor that played Wedge is related to Ewan? It's like his uncle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how you guys possibly thought that was ever a girl. I just don't even understand that at all. It was, to me, it was like 100% a little boy the whole time. So I was right.
So here we go. General Grievous's comment was, interesting breakdown. By the way, Jenny is right about the kid with the fake Jedi. Haja Estri on Dayu. The kid is a boy. Lol. So we had two people
Try to
chime in to
Tell us about-
defend Jennifer when her own husband wouldn't have her back. What does that say? The public loves
I mean, no, I
you're
don't
the
think it was
people's-
anything to do with me.
you're
I
the
think it was
people's
just you guys
podcaster.
were so wrong they couldn't ignore it and let that stand.
Well, there we have it.
Does General Grievous, do you think that is Mark? Are they the same?
No, I think that's General Grievous.
Oh.
Like the General General Grievous.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, So for all you listeners out there, you too could be read and discussed on this podcast. Letters at StarWarsNerdsUnite.com. Harken back to the good old days when we had a billion emails, and pretty much that was our podcast. It was responding to emails after a brief synopsis. We're everywhere on the internet. Like us, follow us.
Oh,
what? You guys
I remembered
the
it.
Easter egg.
It was an Easter egg from episode 2.
Okay.
Guess what? You remember the kid that Haja, the kid and the mom that Haja was helping?
Yeah.
And the episode insinuates that the kid is force sensitive, right?
Yes. Well, it actually says it.
No, what are you talking about?
Haja says it, who's an unreliable narrator at that point, says it.
Okay.
So there's some mystery, all right? But just for funsies, yeah, and they're going, do you remember where they're going?
No.
They're going to Corellia. And then guess what the character's last name is?
I have no idea.
Horn.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
Huh.
So Jenny is like mystified right now. And there was a lot of people.
And I'm over here staring at my
I know.
Jedi book on my bookshelf.
So for the listeners who don't know, one of the main characters from one of our favorite book series that we've never talked about on here, other than saying it's our favorite book series, his name is Coran Horn. He's introduced in the Star Wars Rogue Squadron series, and then he eventually becomes a Jedi, and there's a really popular book called I, Jedi. And he plays a big role in the Yuzong Vong stuff in Legends. And so up to this point, he'd only been a Legends character, and people have always, wanting. He's a big character in Legends. He's in a ton of books.
Yeah, and fans all want the same characters back.
Legends was another canon, right?
Right,
It was
before
the original,
Disney acquired
Disney
them.
bought them.
And so Coran Horn is a Force-sensitive pilot from Corellia. And the timing works out perfectly that he would be around this age potentially. So is it intentional or just a deep
cute.
Easter egg?
Yeah.
Who knows? But
that's a good one.
it's intentional.
I'm glad you brought that
Yeah.
to the table. Wow. I'm still recovering. Anyway, podcast is over. Email us. Thanks for coming on the podcast, guys.
Or post on the YouTube videos.
Yeah, sure. I'll reply to those.
Did you get a notification for it?
Yeah.
I thought we would get email notifications.
Well, it's on it's like an alternate to my Google account.
Okay.
So that's probably why. Anyway, may the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you.
Did you hear that? We're doomed.
This podcast is a part of the Benview Network.
You can find this and other podcasts like it at BenviewNetwork.com.